Some fighters become champions, some become legends, but very few become myths. And that is exactly what happened with Fedor Emelianenko. Why do older MMA fans still speak about him with so much respect? Why do many people call him the greatest heavyweight of all time, even years after his prime? Was it just the wins? Or was it something bigger? Fedor was not loud. He did not chase attention or trash-talk opponents, but for almost 10 years, he looked nearly unbeatable in the most dangerous division in MMA. His calmness, power, and fearlessness created an aura fans still talk about today. So in this video, we're going to explain the aura of Fedor Emelianenko. Make sure to like, subscribe, and join Iron Fist MMA for more MMA stories and deep breakdowns. A small man in a division of giants. Heavyweight MMA has always been known as the division of giants. Big punchers, massive athletes, and dangerous knockout artists have ruled the sport for years. In the early 2000s, many heavyweights looked almost superhuman. Some fighters weighed over 260 pounds, while others came from Olympic wrestling, kickboxing, or strong combat backgrounds. It was one of the toughest eras in MMA history. Then came Fedor Emelianenko. At around 6 feet tall and usually between 230 and 235 pounds, Fedor looked smaller than many of his opponents. He did not have the body of a modern fitness athlete, and outside the ring, he looked like an ordinary man. But once the fight began, everything changed. Fedor was fast, explosive, calm, and fearless. He walked straight into danger against bigger men and still found ways to win. That is what made him feel different from everyone else. The rise of Pride Fighting Championships. To truly understand the aura of Fedor Emelianenko, you first need to understand the world he fought in. During the early 2000s, Pride Fighting Championships was one of the biggest MMA organizations in the world. Many longtime fans still believe Pride had the strongest heavyweight division in MMA history. The fights felt brutal and real. Soccer kicks and knees to grounded opponents were legal, and the atmosphere inside the arenas was intense. Thousands of fans packed huge stadiums, creating a feeling that was very different from modern MMA. It felt less like entertainment and more like warriors entering battle. And this environment was perfect for Fedor. When Fedor made his Pride debut in 2002 against Semi Schilt, fans immediately noticed how fearless he was. Schilt was 6'11" and much bigger than him, but Fedor never looked intimidated. He kept moving forward, took Schilt down multiple times, and controlled the fight. Soon after, Fedor fought Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira for the Pride heavyweight title. At that time, Nogueira was considered one of the best grapplers in MMA, but Fedor shocked the world by dominating him for 5 rounds with pressure, control, and brutal ground and pound. That was the moment many fans realized a new king had arrived. The 10-year run that built the legend, heavyweight MMA, is known as the most dangerous and unpredictable division in combat sports. One punch can change an entire fight in seconds. That is why the success of Fedor Emelianenko feels almost unbelievable even today. From 2001 to 2009, Fedor went nearly 10 years without a real defeat. During that time, he faced some of the best heavyweights in the world and kept finding ways to win. And he did not beat average fighters, he defeated champions, legends, and feared knockout artists. One of his biggest victories came against Mirko Cro Cop in 2005. At that time, Cro Cop was one of the scariest strikers in MMA, famous for his devastating kicks and knockouts. Many fans believed he would finally stop Fedor. Instead, Fedor pressured him for 3 rounds and won the fight clearly. Fedor also defeated Mark Coleman twice, survived Kevin Randleman's famous suplex before submitting him, and beat former UFC champions like Tim Sylvia and Andrei Arlovsky. With every victory, his legend only grew bigger. The calmness that made him terrifying. One of the most unique things about Fedor Emelianenko was his personality. Most fighters try to build excitement by yelling, insulting opponents, or acting aggressively before fights. Fedor was completely different. He stayed quiet, calm, and respectful. His face almost never changed, no matter what was happening inside the ring. Whether he was walking to the fight, taking hard punches, or finishing opponents, he always looked relaxed. Over time, that calmness became part of his legend. Fans started to feel like nothing could break him mentally. One of the best examples came against Kazuyuki Fujita. when Fedor was badly hurt early in the fight by a powerful punch. Many thought he was about to lose, but he stayed calm, recovered quickly, and later won by submission. Another famous moment came against Kevin Randleman, who slammed Fedor directly onto his head with a huge suplex. Somehow, Fedor survived and later submitted Randleman with a Kimura, making the moment feel almost unreal. Why Fedor felt different from other fighters? Fedor Emelianenko's fighting style was a huge reason why his aura became so legendary. He fought with a mix of aggression and control that was rare for a heavyweight. His punches looked wild at times, but they landed with speed and accuracy. He could strike, wrestle, or submit opponents whenever he needed to. Many heavyweights during that era were specialists who focused mainly on one skill. Fedor felt different because he could do everything at a high level. His sambo and judo were elite, his ground and pound was brutal, and his boxing combinations were fast and explosive for a heavyweight fighter. What made him even more exciting was his constant pressure. While many heavyweights fought carefully to save energy, Fedor attacked non-stop. The moment he saw weakness, he rushed forward aggressively, making every fight feel dangerous and unpredictable for his opponents. The human side of the last emperor, even though Fedor Emelianenko was one of the most dangerous fighters in MMA history, he was also known for being humble and respectful outside the ring. That difference made fans respect him even more. One of the most memorable moments came after his 2006 fight against Mark Coleman. After the fight, Coleman's daughters were crying because they were scared after seeing their father lose. Instead of celebrating or acting aggressively, Fedor calmly comforted the children and showed kindness to the family. Moments like that showed who he really was outside of fighting. Beneath the powerful punches and brutal finishes was a disciplined and respectful man. Fedor rarely insulted opponents or created drama to get attention. In a sport filled with loud personalities and trash talk, he stood out by staying quiet and letting his performances inside the ring speak for themselves. Why the UFC debate never ends. One of the biggest debates around Fedor Emelianenko is that he never fought in the UFC during his prime years. Because of this, some fans question how strong his legacy really is. But the full story is not that simple. In the 2000s, Pride Fighting Championships was seen by many as equal to or even stronger than the UFC in heavyweight talent. It had top fighters like Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira, Mirko Cro Cop, Mark Hunt, Mark Coleman, and Kevin Randleman. Fedor defeated all of them. After Pride closed, the UFC tried multiple times to sign Fedor. However, the deals failed due to contract and management disagreements, especially with his team M1 Global. Because of that, fans never got dream matchups like Fedor versus Brock Lesnar. Even without the UFC, many fighters and experts still consider Fedor the greatest heavyweight ever because of his dominance and long undefeated run. The fall of the aura. No fighter stays unbeaten forever. In MMA, age and time eventually catch everyone, no matter how great they are. For Fedor Emelianenko, that moment came in 2010 when he lost to Fabricio Werdum. It shocked the MMA world because it was his first real defeat in almost a decade. Soon after, he also lost to Antonio Silva and Dan Henderson. His aura of being unstoppable finally started to fade. But these losses did not erase his greatness. Instead, they made fans respect his prime even more. People understood how hard it is to stay dominant in heavyweight MMA for so long. Fedor's long run became even more impressive with time. The meaning of the last emperor, Fedor Emelianenko, was called the Last Emperor, and the name truly fit him. He felt like the final face of an older MMA time before social media hype, constant trash talk, and fighters chasing fame over fighting. Fedor was a quiet warrior who focused only on fighting. He stepped into the ring, defeated top opponents, and left without asking for attention. That kind of mindset is rare today, and that is why fans still remember him so differently from most fighters. Was Fedor really the greatest heavyweight ever? There will always be debates in MMA. Some fans point to Stipe Miocic because of his UFC title defenses. Others mention Cain Velasquez for his peak dominance. Younger fans also support modern stars. But the case for Fedor Emelianenko is very strong. He ruled during one of the toughest heavyweight eras ever, beating champions and top legends. He stayed nearly undefeated for about 10 years in a division where one punch can end everything. That kind of long-term dominance is extremely rare. Even today, very few heavyweights have come close to what Fedor achieved. Why his aura still exists today, the reason the aura of Fedor Emelianenko still lives on is simple. He made fans feel something real. In his prime, it often felt like he could not lose. Every walk to the ring felt important, every fight was full of tension, and every win made his legend grow stronger. Even today, many fighters speak about him with respect. Top Russian stars, including Khabib Nurmagomedov, have mentioned Fedor as an inspiration for Russian MMA. His impact goes beyond records. He helped show that great fighters come from all over the world, not just the United States. He inspired many heavyweights and proved that you don't need to talk loud to be remembered forever. Conclusion: the aura of Fedor Emelianenko was never about trash talk or hype. It was about the feeling he gave fans every time he stepped into the ring. How could a calm, quiet man defeat so many dangerous heavyweights for nearly 10 years? How did he stay so fearless under pressure? Fedor made the impossible look normal. He survived brutal moments, defeated legends, and carried himself with respect the entire time. That is why fans still talk about him today. That is why the last emperor remains one of MMA's greatest legends. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow Iron Fist MMA for more MMA stories and breakdowns.